Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017 with the Rude Man. And I'm looking at a new map. One of my subscribers, Daryl Walker, sent me a link to this map. It's a little bit different in some respects, and it may be more of a challenge. You know how when you start a new map, everything's new, you don't have much equipment, and you have to build yourself up to where you can buy more equipment, buy animals, buy more fields, all that kind of stuff. Well, this isn't any different than that, except for there's a unique addition added, and I'll show you what that is. First of all, let me take a look at the farmhouse and the farm area, and we'll take a little tour of the map. To start off with, you want to be careful if you don't want to do the gold coins. There's a pile of gold coins here, and I accidentally tripped over them, and there's not a problem with that. There are 10 of them there, and as you know, if you've played Farm Simulator 2017, it takes the first 10 nuggets to open all the nuggets on the map. So he gives you a good start on that. You can get all 10 right there, and it immediately opens all the locations on the map. Now, I didn't want to clutter my map up, so I started the game over because I accidentally tripped over those things. So, but it's good to know. If you want to start off and make a little bit of money right away so you can do some things, that's a good way to start. Now, you notice the travel trailer here in the pickup and everything, and there's a farmhouse. I dare say he's probably living in the travel trailer, because if we take a look at the farmhouse, it's kind of a cluttered mess. And if we try to go inside, let me slow my speed down here. If we try to go inside, you can see it doesn't quite look livable. It's kind of a mess. There's a gold nugget in there. Anyway, there is that. Now, I'm showing you this for a reason. I don't know how much it is involved with what I'm going to show you, but if we take a quick look, let me speed up a little bit here. If we take a quick look at the farm proper, you'll notice there's a lot of shrubs and bushes, and it's overgrown, and there's junk-a-doodle-doo everywhere, and there's chickens that make a lot of noise. That's pretty typical. Look at here. We've got trash laying all over the place. There's just junk and garbage everywhere. Now, here's the interesting thing, and why I say this is a little unique. I have not seen this before, but then there's a lot of maps out there I haven't seen. These trees that are around here, and these trees like this, if you cut these down, or as you cut these down, this junk-a-doodle-doo disappears. It cleans this up. This pile goes away. All this garbage goes away. You just have to cut some trees down. So, what I said earlier about, you remember when you start a new map and you don't have any money and you have to build it up? This map took that to heart. And you really have to work on this map to make it yours. And in some respects, I kind of like that. I've played a lot of maps, and you know, a lot of them are really pretty from the get-go. This is one that when you buy this, and I'm talking about if you're role-playing at all, where you're coming in, you're a brand new farmer, and I bought this property, it's run down. It needs fixing up. That means you've got to do a little bit of work. And it's not just the farm proper. Like, here's your silos. Your animals are here. You got your pigs. You got your cattle. I'm assuming sheep are over here. Everything's centrally located. It's a quaint little farm. It's just a mess. Now, when you start off, you've got your seeds and fertilizers. You've got your fuel. You got everything you need to run the farm. If you want to leave it messy, so be it. That's your choice. If you want to clean it up, you're going to do a little bit of work. You've even got some straw you can use right there. So, anyway, let's take a look at the equipment. You've got a pickup. You've got a couple of nice tractors. I love this Case tractor, by the way. You've got another Case here, another Case here. You've got a Fast Track JCB, and you've got a combine to start with, and not just a little dinky one, although it does have the little bitty header, but that's a very small field. We'll get to that later. He gives you a Ponzi Scorpion King. There's a reason for that, and again, we'll get into that in a second. And then you've got a logging truck, so you can do some logging. You got a front end loader. I bought this because we're going to take a little bit of a tour. But before we do, let's back out and I'll show you. This is kind of a small map, but that doesn't mean there's not enough to do on it. As I said, it's a busy little map. Let's grab one of our tractors and we'll take a little bit of a tour outside the farmland, the farm proper here. Alright, and before I do, whoops, I'm in the wrong one. Alright, let's see what we've got here. So, this is a look at the map itself, and of course, there's a reason why it's called Spectacle Island. It's pretty much island land. Now, you notice that you have some green farmland here, which means you own this stuff. 12, 13, 15, 16... G1, we'll get to that in a second. 11, 14, 16, and 1. So over here we only own one field. So although you start off owning quite a few, you would think, wow, we're just going to be able to get in there and just really get some harvesting done, because look at all the fields we own, and they're medium to small size, but they're still pretty good sized fields here. Okay, you'd be wrong, and I'll show you why. First of all, we're going to take this tractor and we're going to head out this way. And I will show you why it's a big deal that we have the Ponzi. This is our first field, field 11. And this is our field right here. You're not going to be able to get a plow out here and just go to town and start harvesting, seeding and harvesting. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to clear the land. That's why you have the Ponzi, to help you do that. Once you clear the land, you'll be able to plow it and make it your own. And that goes for all the other maps or fields that you own, except for field number 1 on the other island. That one, of course, is already seeded. I think it's got wheat on it, and it's ready to harvest. The rest of the fields, you're going to have to work to get. It's not going to be easy. So if you want a little bit of a challenge, you own a lot of land, but it's not cleared. So you're going to have to work at it. Alright, let's take a look. Now, if you notice, there are a lot of signs that tell you what you can do and where you can go. Sealy P Farm, the BGA Bunker, the Marina, Spectacle Farm, which is your farm. This is interesting. We'll get into that a little bit later, too. First of all, let's head on down the road here. Now you can tell the roads are slightly narrow. You may have a little bit of trouble with the bigger equipment, so we'll have to make do with smaller equipment, I'm sure. Vicus, it says. So another little farm area. Up here. It looks a little bit scary, doesn't it? Yeah. Things are kind of abandoned up here. All right, I'm gonna head over over yonder there. I wanna look at something. before we go any further on this island. Spectacle Farms. We're going to go over this way. And one of the cool things I like about any map is when they leave you a little bit of area. Look at these bridges. Construction area, placeables, etc. I like it when a mod author gives you a little bit of room to do your own thing. Not everybody likes what everybody else puts, what someone else puts on a map, and so this allows you to put a couple of extra things on there that you might want to have. So I like that. Right now I used it for a helipad. We're going to grab the helicopter and get a bird's eye view of the islands. And then we'll come back and look at some particulars. Alrighty then. So let me back off the camera here. Get a little better view. Here's your area for placeables. And once you get a little bit higher, you can see what I mean about the fields. You can obviously tell where the fields are. They just need to be cleared. Alright, hang on. I'm going to go in here and turn the sound down a little bit, so I don't have to scream. Alrighty then. Yes, it's there's work to be had on this farm. So let's just take a quick look at this island where we're at. This is the farm proper. You got your pigs and your cattle and all that kind of stuff. Pop over across the road here. This is another thing that I really like. This is that G1 that I showed you earlier on when we took a quick look at the map. This is your grass. You got lots of grass. So this whole field here is seeded in grass. That's cool. You won't have to go looking for grass. Now I'm not going to go, really in depth on these islands with the helicopter. I just want to take a quick bird's eye view of everything, because it's hard to get some idea what things look like from the ground. There's the BGA, and this is a construction site, looks like. So although there's a lot of empty looking buildings, it's refreshing to see that at least some people are building modern type buildings. Bridges everywhere, and you can notice that some of them are pretty small. A little bit of a town here. This is where your shop is at and such. So here's one thing that was pointed out to me. Let's get down here. Village Zombies. There's your vehicle customization. So you can bring your vehicles in here and customize them, do a little bit of work on them, do your repairs, that kind of thing. Mrs. LPS Coffee Shop. This is where you can sell your eggs. Got village zombies wandering around. I don't know what they're doing, but they're just wandering around. Over here is your shop. So this is where you'd buy your equipment, but here is what I want to show you that was pointed out to me. You can buy your equipment and everything. When you leave the shop, it teleports you to this area here. And the reason it does that is this is where, when you purchase your equipment, that it's going to stage. Your equipment will be placed here once you buy it, and then you'll have to get it home on your own. So there's that. Where's my helicopter? Down yonder. Way down yonder. Okay, there's a lot of noises. There's a lot of sound in this map. It's appropriate sound. Seagulls and such, and that kind of thing. Now they mentioned something about a ferry. The ferry doesn't come with the map. I'm imagining there must be a ferry mod out there. And if you look around, you'll see that there's sell points up here. Once you drive up onto the ship, there's sell points on the ship and other places. You'll have to, we can look at that later. But anyway, let's move on. We're on the edge of the map. Let's just take each island one at a time here. So this island would be the residential type area. Got our grass field. The grass field's convenient. It's right by the BGA plant. Let's run across to the next island where we have our first field that we can use. Got a bridge across. It's not too bad a size bridge. It's a fairly good sized bridge. You can get some fairly decent equipment across there. Obviously, we got that big case over there, that combine. So this is a field that you own. This will give you your fresh start. The first thing that you can use to harvest. And then from there, the rest of these fields are all for sale. I haven't checked these fields to see if there's missions on them. Let me just take a quick look. I believe there are. I'm pretty sure there are, but we'll take a quick look, make sure. Alrighty, looks like there are missions, I suppose. So that's good. Missions are good. You can make some decent money at that. Now the field is $240,000 for field number 2. Let's take a look at the size of that, and it's not a bad price. It's not a bad price for the size. So it looks like the fields are reasonably well priced, which is good. So you can choose whether you want to clear your own fields or not, that you already own them. That'd be entirely up to you. Or you could go ahead and hunt all those gold nuggets, buy a few fields over here, and start farming if that's what you want to do. If you're into logging, this has got to be the map for you. If you're in for logging, because you have to do logging to get your fields cleared so that you can farm. So you got two ways of going. If you want to log, clear your fields, and work hard at what you already own, there you go. If you want to spend some money and start farming, you can do that as well. Now, in looking at these fields aren't that bad size. They're pretty good sized fields, actually. There are bridges that you can use to get from point A to point B. There's sell points around. As it's an island or a set of islands, there's going to be a lot of stuff on the water. Because if you sell your crops and stuff, you have to have a way to get it to market. And it looks like it's going to be by water. Now there's a couple of fields here. I'm not quite sure what they are. If they are just logging fields, because they don't appear to be. Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to say whether these are fields that you can farm if you clear them, or if this is just for logging. The reason I say that is this is where the logging mill is. So this whole island may be for logging. I am not entirely sure. But there's your log mill right there. If you have the ferry, I guess you can use the crane, pull the ferry boat in there. I don't know how any of that works. There was no link or anything to any kind of boats or ferries. Alright, let's run over to this next map. We got a very nice bridge that goes from this island to that island. It's pretty narrow though. Tucked away in this hill right here is a sell point. Right down below me there. Everything is well signed. You see signs everywhere that kind of help you out if you get lost. I just clipped that tree. And again, this island belongs to you. You just have to clear it and make it harvestable. Your choice of play style, if that's how hard you want to work. It kind of sounds refreshing to me. Got a big yacht out there. That's kind of cool. Little bitty island here. Got another sell point on it. And like I said, most of the sell points are close to a dock. Look at that yacht. Isn't that sweet? We're gonna buzz the yacht if we can. Oh, it's off the map. Oh, I hit a barrier. Sweet. All right. Eastern Grains is on that little island there. And then we're back to Spectacle Hector. So that's pretty much it for bird's eye view. Let's there's a windmill. There's Vicky's manure. Whatever that is. It's a poo factory, I guess. I don't know. All right, let's head home. Alrighty then, let's jump in our tractor here. Now, let's look at a few particulars that are kind of interesting. Got to watch out on the bridges, though. They're not real wide. And there's some interesting ways to get around. Since you don't have a ferry, I don't know anything about the ferry mod, if there even is one. I did a cursory search for one, didn't find much that I wanted to mess with. So the mod author has taken that into consideration if you don't want to try to find some kind of ferry system. We're going to take the Path of Death. Right, this is interesting. Now, looking at the map, the Path of Death is going to take us from Spectacle Island down to the other island where our grass is, and a bridge to all the other islands. This is interesting. It's actually kind of cool, but it's kind of strange also. There's a bus that didn't make it down there. Alright, so this is the the Path of Death. Gotta love it. It is kind of, don't go too fast, you'll bounce right off the side. And of course, it couldn't be too easy. You have to put a few hazards in. So we got a tree across the path. Work our way around it. We got falling rocks. Isn't that sweet? A rock slide. Now, if you don't hit those logs, oh God, there's a car down there, didn't make it. If you don't hit these logs, if you hit the logs, you can drive across there pretty easy. If you don't, you may end up getting stuck in here because there's not enough room. Your tires go in that hole right there. And I'm not quite sure if you can climb those rocks or not, so I'm going to take the logs. It's a little precarious, but we made it. And again, I tend to go too fast. You probably shouldn't. You got rickety. Who's that on trip trapping on my bridge? And they even get more rickety. And you can see where parts of it look like they fell. I don't know what that is down there. Some kind of a dam, maybe? water restriction. Okay, if you want to go to the spinnery, we go left, go to the spinnery. If you want to go to the other island, we go right. That's our grass field to the left. And we're going to cross this island here. Wow. All right. So, as you see, these actually, this bridge is probably wide enough to get a lot of your equipment on. And this is how you get over to the fields that you may want to buy. There's your field that you do own. Teddy's Double Straws down that way. This is the Sealy Pea Farm. I don't know what they grow here, except for maybe peas. So it's just, I think this is just, there's some of your equipment. I think this is just a place outside your main farm that if you're farming over here, you can stage equipment, you can get fertilizer and fuel and you know, throw some grain in a silo, that kind of thing. That's kind of nice. You've got some place to work from. And then, of course, down this way are all the other, what's that? Tarquin Sawmill. Okay. So, yep, you can drive across using the bridges. You can hear the bird sounds. Like I said, there's a lot of sound files on this map. And I'm a firm believer in, you know, sound can make or break certain games, certain movies. I can give you an example. If you're at a movie that's a very exciting movie and the sound matches the movie in excitement, it can make the movie. If you put bad music in to an exciting movie, it kind of ruins it. If you don't believe me, go back into the movies of the 70s and you'll see they started doing some really crazy, weird things with music and camera angles and stuff. And they're just hard to watch. They've got music that doesn't match what's going on in the movie. And it's just kind of hilarious. All right, let's head back. There is another bridge that goes across. But I want to show you something else. We're going to head back home. So what we're going to do. Oh, look, potatoes. Yeah, I'm really thinking about playing this map. I know that when Daryl showed it to me, he said this probably isn't your cup of tea for farming, but, you know, I like variety. It may not look like it, and it may not seem like it, but I do. A lot of the farms like this, I play farms like this. I play the little European farms and the farms that you can farm without course play and such like that. I just don't record them, but I enjoy playing them. Now you got a little footbridge that goes across here. Now this might be a little scary since I got fast travel on here. So, whoa, we made it. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? I don't know what the heck this is. Oh, for logging. Here we go. Yeah, there's your logging truck. So I'm assuming if you had a ferry, you could drop your logs off here and ferry them up to the mill. Well, I got to find out more about that ferry. I'm surprised that the mod author doesn't offer a solution to that. Okay, so to get back on the farm, I'm going to have to take that path back. Is that right? Is that the only way to get there? I guess so. The path of death is the only way to get there. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm actually going to grab a different tractor. We'll come back and get that one later. All right, let's head up this way. And I want to show you one of the solutions that the mod author has provided. We're going to drive by a few of our fields that need all the work. Now, there's one good thing about having to clear the fields. You can earn enough money logging to make up for the fact that you're not harvesting crops, because you only have one field that you can work when you start. Unless you're rich and famous and you buy a bunch of fields. Spectre Hector, Beacon Hill Mill. I'm assuming those are sell points. In actuality, this is the first time I've driven this map, so I'm kind of looking at it for the first time as well as you. What I did was I took the helicopter and flew around. Okay, so what do we have here? The LPS Grain that way and Spectre Hector this way. This is Spectre Hector. I don't know what that means particularly. It's just a name, I suppose, but it is a sell point. And let me show you now. Let's go down to the beach. Let's say you want to get your equipment from point A to point B, but you don't want to drive all the way over to where there's a bridge. If you notice, between Spectre Hector and Eastern Grains and LPS Grains, there is no bridge. Well, how do you get across there, you say? Well, you take your life in your own hands and you stay between the poles and you drive across the water. Now, if you notice, you're getting the warning, do not drive too deeply, because if you get off the path and go outside to these logs or these poles, you're going to drown. Isn't this unique? I want a tractor with flotation wheels. Oh my God, somebody didn't make it. Holy smokes, literally. Oh, there's a gold nugget in there. But anyway, yeah, this outside of the main bridge from the island where 21 and 20 is, outside of that bridge, the only way to get to this island is, well, you're looking at it. Isn't that unique? I don't know. It looks like a lot of fun to me. Let's see here. We can go left or right. Let's make a loop. Let's go this way. And we'll take a look at what we can see here. Now there's another crossing ahead there. You see the poles in the water. And that goes over to Teddy's Double Straw, looks like. See what this little building is over here. Just a docking area, it looks like. Yeah, docking area. Now I do have some fishing boat mods, but we're not fishing here. So if there was one that was big enough where you could drive a tractor on, it might be useful. So there must be a mod out there. Road to the sawmill, Teddy's Double Straw, and the Seeley Farm. That's the bridge that goes across to the other island. some more of our fields that we own up here. As you can well imagine, let's say you have a couple of people that want to multiplay. This wouldn't be that bad a map to multiplay, even though it's small. It is a small map, but in actuality, it's not. I think it's a 4K map, even though it's a lot of water. But let's do a little bit of thinking here. Let's say you've got a couple of guys who want to play multiplayer. One of them loves to log. One of them loves to farm. There you go. It'd be a decent multiplayer, even if you had a couple of people that were into logging, a couple of people into farming. There's a little bit to do for everybody. And I like the way that he's put it together, so if you don't want to log, you don't have to. Go out and find all your gold nuggets, get $1 million, buy a couple of fields, get yourself a good start. And again, that whole map there where Teddy's Double Straw is, all of that is all purchasable. All of those fields are ready to go. You just have to buy them. So it's completely up to you how you want to play. All right, and there is the other way back. This one looks a little bit more precarious for some reason. It's actually kind of scary. Alrighty then. Home again, almost. We're going to head over to the home farm over there and round this thing up here. I thought this is going to take us into the ocean. Help, I can't swim. Might want to put four-wheel drive on here. All right, we're back on the beach. All righty. I'm going to take a quick trip home. And I will say that, no, I have not checked this map out thoroughly. There are some things on it that might surprise you. They might surprise me. I don't know. I just did a cursory look at it. I'm not doing a full review of this map. I don't do reviews. A lot of people say, well, that was not a very thorough review. I don't review them. It's just a quick look. What it is, what I do is somebody suggests a map. Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to look at it. I want to get the feel for it. I want to know, is this a map that looks interesting to me that I might want to play it? That's what I do. And I share that with you so that you can get a first look. If you're interested, download it and do your own review. I don't do a thorough review. I've not farmed this at all. I don't know how things work. I don't know if they do work. I'm just taking a cursory look at it. And that's just a quick explanation, because a lot of people say, boy, you don't do real good reviews. It's not a review. I'm not doing a review. I generally call it a first look, because that's all I'm doing. I'm just looking at it to see if it's something I'm even interested in playing. This one I am. I am interested in playing this. So what else? What else? Okay, before I go, let's take one quick look at what we have for crops. You have your normal, your wheat, your barley, your canola, sunflower seeds, soybeans, corn, potatoes, sugar beets, and sugar cane. So it looks like he has set it up for sugar cane. So there you go. It looks like it. It looks like it. And then, of course, you have all your poo and your sludge and wool and your wood chips, normal stuff. All right. Oh, I want to look at one more thing before we do that. Yep, he's even got sugarcane listed here. So it looks like maybe you can do some sugarcane. Cool beans, man, cool beans. Well, I'll tell you what. I think I'm going to call it here. I hope you had fun. If it's a map you're interested in, I'll put the link in the description below. And if you decide to play this, I think I'm going to. So I might do a couple of episodes, and if I get interest in it, I'll keep doing them. It looks like a farm that will be a little bit different to play. I'm interested to find out if this stuff really works. If you really cut these trees down that are around here, if it actually does clean this stuff up so it disappears. That, to me, is pretty unique and kind of exciting. Because there's a lot of farms that I've played where they put a bunch of junk-a-doodle-doo around, and you think, oh my God, who would live on this farm with all this junk? Wouldn't you clean it up? Don't you have any pride in your farm? So in this case, it looks like we can do something about that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. I hope you had fun. If you did, give it a like, share it with a friend, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you back on the farm in the next episode. Happy farming.